Welcome to the weekly watch of September 16th, 2013. I am your... Hold on. I messed up.
Really?
I blanked out. I started staring off into space.
Keep it in, Jay. Keep it in.
How do you blank out? We've been doing this for a while now.
I don't know. Something caught me about the shadows on my wall.
Something about the shadows on your wall. Jay, are you high as shit right now?
I've been listening to too many creepypastas.
Okay.
I was really bored while doing work. I'm your host, Darkly10000, and with me, as always, is Truman. That's your name.
That is my name. I'm so glad we've known each other for like 8 years now.
And Nathan.
Hello.
Maybe it's the air conditioning sound.
Is it lulling you to sleep?
It's like this continuous hum. It sounds like a car. Or a vacuum. Or...
It's one of my writing skills.
Shut up. Don't ever bring that up again.
What?
It's one of his writing skills.
From Inu.
Oh, okay. I can't wait for you guys to watch the new episode.
You mean the last episode?
Yup.
Then I can give it a 0 and be done with it forever?
You can't give it a 0.
Oh, shit, you're right. Fine, then I'll move on.
So then, what did you guys watch this week?
Well, we, unlike you, watched Psychopaths, which I enjoyed quite a bit.
Yeah, it was really good.
It was?
Yeah. We both enjoyed it. It was pretty grimdark, which I mean is what I expected going in. From all the hype
it's not grimdark. Grimdark refers to a world where everything is shit.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
It's a world where there's little, like, choice, but it seems like most people are content and happy, and they aren't forced to go off.
The atmosphere of the show was really dark, though. Like, the actual setting wasn't grimdark, but the atmosphere.
What we see in the show is the darker side of the society.
Exactly. Like, we don't see any of the... I mean, we can tell that it's there, but, I mean, really we're only presented with just, like, the really shit aspects of everything.
It's more like it's a dystopia story, isn't it?
It's a hardcore dystopia story. But actually, the thing that I liked about this one is that although it was a dystopian story, they definitely gave the actual law and order side of it a fair representation. Like, I actually, I'm just break into it. I really enjoyed that fact. Like, in the end, it wasn't just like a cliched. Oh well, this is wrong because feelings or something weird like that. Some kind of regular cliche. Like, it was legitimate. Like the main characters realized, like, this is, like, this world that we created is, it was created for a reason. This thing is wrong, but it's still the best.
Getting rid of it now isn't going to help anything. It's just going to plunge us into chaos, which is what was happening at the end.
Yeah, and I thought that that was actually the point where I was like, wow, this main character is, well done in the fact that they're not the one-dimensional, I'm the protagonist and I'm going to save everything. Like, it was just like I'm going to compromise my ideals for what do I need to do. Do you have something to say to that, Nate? Nathan?
What?
Jay?
What?
Oh, sorry. I thought I lost you guys for a second.
No, you didn't lose us. It's
okay.
It's actually weird.
What do you guys
go
ahead, Jay.
Okay. It's actually, like, weird for me because most dystopia stories I've actually read or played or seen were actually after the society falls when I was watching this. But this one's actually still completely working somehow. And like you said, it's because that's how it's been set up, and the heroes, it's like start to understand like this is how it is because, which was a real big appeal to it.
Yeah, I like the fact that like they weren't like, oh, let's bring down the dystopia, but our slightly better way that the villain can, it's like almost exactly identical to the villain's goal, but we did it with like sunshine and rainbows. It was well, we're gonna keep the society that we have.
Because the dystopia usually is the villain.
That's not. I mean, that's not always true. There's a lot of cases where there's like this kind of setup, but I've seen a couple cases. I can't think of them where.
Well, usually I see dystopian stories. It's not the system; it's the corruption within the system, or somebody taking advantage of it. That's the problem with the dystopian societies.
I see that. Yeah. And yeah, again, I mean, I liked how they handled it. I mean, you legitimately like. I felt like the show was constantly. I liked the pacing of the whole thing. I thought was really well. Like you had the kind of the introduction, and then you had a couple teaser villains, and then you had the main arc, and then you had the kind of like the whole finding the truth thing, which I thought the whole time I was kept interested in. Thought it was done really well.
Yeah, I felt it was pretty well paced, except for one episode that was in the middle, where it was like the female enforcer's background, and like one of the arcs just ended, where they finally meet Shogo, the villain. They meet him and he kills the girl. He kills Akane's friend.
Yeah.
And then the next episode was like a background on the female enforcer.
Yeah,
well
I know what you're talking about.
It was part of it was like also looking at what's his name, the male protagonist in the show.
Yeah, it was kind of like the backgrounds and your stuff.
It was him when he was an actual like investigator character, not an enforcer. Yeah, but it wasn't enough about him for me to consider it really relevant.
It was kind of just like, hey, look at him being an investigator beforehand.
It's like this was him, getting this woman to be an enforcer, and he's good at this, and he's obviously better than Noza or whatever the other guy's name was, but
yeah.
it didn't look for me to consider it relevant enough. The one part where I was like, why is this here?
Actually, when we're bringing up some faults, so the one thing that I thought, I had a couple things, but I'll be honest, I forgot most of them, but the one I do remember is they went pretty heavy on, the random quotations. A pretty good amount of them were relevant, but, there's some where I was just like, this isn't really, it's a big stretch to make this quote relevant to the situation at hand. You guys are really stretching it.
Can you quote one of those random quotations?
There was one where they bring up. Oh, it was like the last big one where the villain kind of quotes the parable in the Bible, and it's like you're only quoting this because it talks about wheat and weeds. The actual parable doesn't really have much to do with the situation. You're kind of just bringing this in. And there was one other one when the villain was talking to the robot guy. I don't remember what the quote was, but I remember definitely being like, I don't think that quote really has anything to do with the situation. I don't remember what it was, honestly.
Yeah, at times they were just quoting for the sake of quoting. And
yeah, it was a little.
I wasn't paying attention to those quotes at all.
For the parable one, I think it partly has to do with the fact that they built this system that was so easily, manipulated that they have to deal with the consequences of it.
I mean, but the parable of Jesus and the weeds, I didn't look it up, honestly. This is just from memory. I'm pretty sure that one is about, not coveting your neighbor or something like that. Not they kind of like just they just like said a couple lines of it to make it that like, oh look at these words are relevant, but like the actual meaning of the parable, I'm pretty sure is one about not and coveting your neighbor's stuff, and that really didn't apply. I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but even if it's, I mean, Jesus' parables all fall under, pretty forgiveness, forgiveness, not coveting other people's stuff, not being a dick, and all of them kind of didn't really apply. Like, just in general. I mean, they don't really apply in general to what the villain was talking about, so there's very specific ones that would apply, and it wasn't that one. So I thought that was the biggest one.
Yeah, I don't really know much about the parables or whatever.
I don't know much about quoting.
So I don't know, that was one thing that bugged me, and I had one other, but I can't remember it. So how about you guys? Anything else important to say before we move to favorite characters?
This was supposed to be his war on Moe, yet he still had cute things in it.
What cute things did he have in this?
The strange police thing. They were mocking Moe, but they were still there.
I think as a mockery. I mean, I don't think in any way could those things be called cute. I mean, that was definitely a mockery of people thinking large, out of proportion things are cute. I don't think anyone in the audience, I don't think anyone actually watching it would be like, oh, look at those weird things. Those are cute. And I think it definitely, as a mockery of people dropping their guards, is what it was meant for. And in that case, I think it's definitely relevant in Urabochi's kind of war on Moe, attack on Moe.
Yeah, those things were useless, but somehow still kept people docile.
Yeah, they just stood there with people who were like, oh, sounds good.
Okay, so you think it worked.
One other thing, I thought there was a slight inconsistency in the whole arc when they first got the mask and you saw the guy, the guy murdered the chick in the street, and then the whole thing was like, oh, look at these people, like, didn't even notice that there was a crime, but I felt that was kind of inconsistent, because, like, in other things, like, you saw people being scared of crime being committed,
It's like no one would be able to commit such... It's basically like no one would be able to commit such a crime in such a public place. So everyone just didn't think it was happening.
I mean, I don't know. Like,
although I
don't think it's that they didn't think it was happening. It's more of like
they couldn't believe
this is happening, and they were in shock.
Seriously, no one has no one has any survival instincts or helping instincts to stop it.
Yeah, that was the thing that annoyed me about that scene.
There were so many people, and like they'd shown in the past, like they'd set up that people are like, it's not like people don't understand how a crime, what crime is, because like there were things in the past where people were afraid of a crime being committed, and yada yada yada. Like, there's no way it's just like, what is this? What is a murder? Like, it's a little.
It's like
I thought that one was a little. They kind of stretched their whole thing a little too much, because they kind of made it clear that people definitely do understand what a murder is.
It's like the first half of that one video where a guy where like two actors basically film themselves like in the elevator as the doors open, and one of them's like choking the other one to death.
Yeah.
And so it's like the doors open, and for the first half of that video, pretty much everyone's just like, let's just close the door, and doesn't do anything. It's ridiculous.
No, I get what you're saying. I've seen that video. I know what you're talking about. The one where, what would you do if the person in the elevator was being choked? Like the majority of people were just like, oh, not dealing with this, and just left.
For the whole first half, no one wanted to deal with that.
So, no, I get what you're talking about, and I don't know, but this one, I thought they really stretched their premise on that one, especially that one scene, really.
Yeah, there were too many people for that to apply, I think.
Yeah,
and
if it was just like a handful of people.
Some of those people would have ran if that was the case.
Yeah, if at least some of them would have like run or freaked out, But like they all just like stood there like sheep, just being like, what is murder, guys? I don't understand. And like it was too many for not a single one person in the crowd to understand what was going on. So
All right.
that was
But
my
all in all, that was like a 3-minute part of one episode, so
Oh yeah, exactly. That definitely.
it's not that big of a deal. If all we can find to nitpick is a single part of a single episode.
Small inconsistencies.
Yeah, all the problems are very small inconsistencies, like these small little inconsistencies that are for the most part irrelevant.
So, favorite characters?
Nate, you want to go first?
1 sec, let me look up the names,
Oh,
because I'd like to actually...
Okay, I'll go then, since I know who it is. My favorite character definitely was the main character, Akane.
Akane?
Yep, that was my favorite character. I thought she did the character Zerut, she did a great job of writing an evolving protagonist. Like there was no like, oh, this scene happened and now she's different. Like there was a gradual hardening of her character throughout the show, from like her first joining as like super, this naive recruit, to the end where she's the man in charge, I guess, the woman in charge. But I mean, there was a pretty big shift after the whole she found the truth. But even before that, she was definitely like hardcore. I understand the job. I know what I'm doing, kind of
It's
thing.
like she was definitely a strong character.
Yeah, and she was. But I think more than just a strong character, she was she evolved throughout the whole show. Like it was a constant progression. I felt in her character, not just here's the event that makes her a strong character. Boop. Like I thought she was like some more big leaps, but like there was a constant evolving of her character throughout the whole show that I saw, and I really liked it. I thought, whoa, that means it's written. I thought that means her character was developed really well. So major props to Urabochi for doing that.
Who's Urabochi again?
That's the guy who wrote it.
Okay. Just making sure.
This the guy who wrote Madoka, and I think it was... What was it? He also wrote Madoka Box. Remember, that's why you wanted me to read... That's why I was going to read Madoka Box.
Oh, no, he didn't write Madoka Box.
Oh, was he done? Oh, my bad.
Madoka Box is written by the guy who does Monogatari and Katamagatari.
That's why I read that. It was one of the things I liked. It was something like, well, he wrote Madoka, and I just looked it up. He also wrote Fate Zero. He also wrote Fate Zero. Oh, that's pretty interesting. Although I can't bring myself to watch Fate Zero, but that's a separate issue. Oh, he also wrote this show, Suisei no Gargantia. But I'm getting off topic right now. So.
Nathan?
Oh, and he also wrote last thing I want to say about him. He also wrote a bunch like Saino Uta, Kikugai the Cyber Slayer, and some of the big Nitro Plus VNs. Alright, I'm done. That's who Urabochi is.
Alright.
Thanks, Truman.
Alright, my favorite character was Masaoka. The old guy.
The old guy?
I was not expecting that. I thought you were going to pick the Genoka guy.
The old guy?
The old guy?
Yeah.
Nice.
Why not the old guy?
I didn't see it. I was like, wow.
Why?
Like,
yeah. I think he was a good fatherly figure throughout the...
A good what?
Fatherly figure.
Oh, yeah.
Because like at the beginning he kind of mentors Akane when she gets there. And then he always tries to... And then towards the end of it, he actually starts talking to his son. And then ultimately sacrifices himself for his son.
No, he was actually a really good character. I'm with you.
That was one hell of a way to go, though.
Oh yeah, that was... I mean, the action in the show definitely was hardcore. It was intense stuff. I mean, they did not pull punches with the graphic.
Oh yeah, we should probably say that this show was... When it got violent, it was violent.
Oh yeah.
When it got actiony, it was actiony.
Yeah, that was... I remember when the first episode, like people like exploding into chunks of flesh. I was like, wow, was not expecting that.
We didn't talk about the Enforcer gun.
The Dominator.
The Dominator, the whole
Dominator.
concept of the Dominator, I thought was just weird.
Just how overpowered it is.
Yeah, it was just.
Put it.
And one thing that bugged me is, I don't know, that no one thought to get a gun after the first, like the Akane didn't bother to get a gun after the first time she met, whatchamacallit?
Makishima.
Yeah, like she didn't think to get a gun that first time, and that was another thing that little bug me. I'm like she knew the Dominator didn't work. Well, how are you guys planning on capturing it?
But part of her character is that she doesn't want to kill people.
That's true.
Like, I don't think throughout the entire show she ever kills anyone with the Dominator.
Right.
That's true, yeah.
Pretty sure she only takes the shot when she paralyzes people.
The Paralyzer.
But I mean, that is part of her job as the Enforcer. Not to do that.
Well,
no, the part of her job as the Enforcer is to...
No, she's not an Enforcer, she's an Inspector.
Inspector, I meant, is to control the Enforcers.
Exactly,
Yeah, but
so the Enforcers are the ones who take the shot.
They're supposed to, but push comes to shove, she should be willing to shoot as well.
That's true. I get what you're saying, but I mean,
For the greater good, she should be willing to kill a criminal. That's
I see what you're saying.
kind of...
Okay.
And if the system says.
Yes. The system says.
I get what you're saying.
So my favorite character was Shu. He was the
Kagami?
yeah, or
The red
Kagari.
guy? Or the orange-haired guy?
Oh,
Yeah.
The Enforcer guy, gotcha. I can see that. I can see that being your favorite character.
Probably because, shoot, I had a reason, but it's been a while since I've seen it. Give me a moment. I just remember liking him. He was kind of, the jokester. Tried to get Akane to loosen up at the beginning.
Yeah, I see. Yeah, exactly.
It's like, we got the real shit here because of what we do. Here, try it.
He had no alcohol tolerance. I thought that was funny. He tries to get her to drink, and then he gets really drunk while she's totally fine.
Sounds like you.
Yeah, Truman.
I mean, I'm not going to talk about it. Whatever.
I was really sad when he died.
Yeah, I mean, I thought they killed off main characters in ways I was not expecting.
I'm just like, he's okay. He dies. I'm like, well, that was unfair. Cold.
Really? Once they sent him down, I expected him to
I was
die.
expecting it too, but I was just like, God damn it.
But the way he did die was
It was cheap and unfair.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, we all knew he was going to die, but the way he died was, whoa. And I'll agree with you on that one.
Yep.
Actually, you know what's one character that I thought was weird? The kind of the support person, the doctor chick.
The lab tech person.
Yeah, I don't know. Her character never seemed like. I don't know. It just bugged me. I was like, what's going on with I don't know. She was there, and they had the. Oh, I guess she sleeps with a lot of people, and I don't know. I was just very confused by.
She wasn't that important.
Yeah, I guess, but I mean, she was always there, but they didn't develop her at all, which that was just one little thing. Even the black-haired girl got, her backstory scene.
All right.
Made her relevant, made her relatable. So, yeah.
So, final scores?
I I was between a high 8 and a 9. I think I'm just gonna bump it up, give it a 9.
A 9?
Yeah.
We're all in agreement. We like this, so.
Yeah. Although for some reason I put it on MAL as a 7. I don't know why I did that. But yeah, I'm gonna give it a 9.
All right, Nathan.
I gave it a 9 as well.
9s?
Yep.
Well,
Yep.
I gave it an 8. Because I do say that it's really good, but it just doesn't reach that.
Because?
It just doesn't reach that super awesome level for me. My super awesome level is hard to get to.
I guess I see what you're saying. But I was kind of on the edge, but I decided bump it up if I really, mainly because of this talk. When I first saw it, I had a few complaints, and I was thinking just give it an 8, but if I've already forgotten them in like 2 days, I guess they weren't that big of complaints, so I'm going to bump it up.
Okay.
That's my reasoning. Also, this has kind of made me realize maybe I should actually give Fate Zero a chance instead of hating it blindly.
Why do you hate it blindly?
Because, have you seen it?
You've watched the first episode, and it was full of spoilers, basically.
Actually, I watched the entire first half.
And then you also complained that freaking Alexander dies. Spoiler alert.
Not that he dies. I mean, that he dies is obvious. Like, it's obvious
Okay,
that he dies.
how he
Everyone
dies.
except... Yeah, but the fact is that I hate how he dies. And I don't know, it just bugged me. And the fact that, like, every time I go to our anime, they're just like, oh, don't watch Fate Stay Night, just watch Fate Zero. Fate Stay Night sucks. And I'm like, oh my god.
Well,
you people,
they have a point.
You people.
Fate Stay Night does suck.
No, you need to read the VN, Jay.
This is our anime. They're only talking about anime.
I every single time I go there, it's like my mission. I just search through our anime to find people recommending Fate Zero and being like, "You're wrong. Read Fate Stay Night. Don't watch the anime."
No one wants to spend 60 hours. 20 of which being exposition. The first 20.
Okay. The Fate route does suck, but it's an info dump. It's just like, hey, we gotta you need to understand the background. So here's this story involving Saber, who everyone loves. Like, here's everyone's favorite character. Just suffer through the info dump chat.
No one wants to do that.
Then it gets to Unlimited Blade Works. Unlimited Blade Works is like, hey, boom, look at this cool badass story. I didn't really like it. I thought it was okay because I hated the main character of Fate Stay Night. He was a fucking idiot. Then it's Heaven's Feel, and Heaven's Feel's like, all right, you did all the work to, first you read the rules, then you stood in line, and now it's time for the roller coaster. And it's just like, whoa, 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 whoa. That's my opinions on Fate Stay Night.
Watch the anime and you'll see why.
It's all worth it for Heaven's Feel. Also, apparently, I don't know if you heard the new Fate Stay Night anime is being made. Apparently, it's going to cover just Heaven's Feel, which I don't know how I feel about it.
Alright, so...
We're getting off topic, though.
Completely. Let's move on to the weekly watch, where we talk about the week of anime, of weeks and watches and anime.
Alright, first off, the last Servant X service... The last Servant X service kind of bugged me because, I don't know, it was kind of like proof that they're just gonna be cock teases the whole time.
No, they're not.
And it makes me sad.
No, they're not. I still hold hope.
I mean, now they've realized that they've done the whole. They've basically come out and said, hey, what's her name? Chihaya is never gonna tell the sister about those two dating. That's never gonna happen. Then they have the other girl whose name I can't remember. Is now guess what? She kind of likes the dude Tanaka. Oh, look at that. That's never gonna go anywhere. And then if none of those go anywhere, the main arc is.
Truman! Truman!
God damn it.
Well, he thinks the main arc's gonna go nowhere, but I think it will go somewhere. I'm hoping. There he goes. Disconnected. Oh, reconnected.
At what point did I drop? Did you guys hear my little rant just now?
You were about to say the main arc.
Okay, and then the main arc is going to go nowhere.
And
I've lost all
it
hope.
will go somewhere. But it's like I enjoyed this episode because we actually got to see Hasabe in a depressed state.
I guess I see that.
To show that he isn't just goofy and wacky all the time.
I feel you.
Which makes me...
I don't know. This episode it made me, like, I liked it, you know, it was still funny and everything, still funny and upbeat. But it just made me sad, because to me this was the episode saying, hey, nothing's going to be resolved. Ever.
It will be.
It's like when I read this
Maybe
manga,
not this season.
Someone suggested a manga to me once called Nisekoi, where basically the whole premise was this guy promised that he liked this girl when he was like really young, blah blah blah, and then he forgot who she was. So the whole thing's like, oh, who is she? And then they bring all these heroines in. And it's like, oh, maybe it's her, and it's just it's like
Nisekoi.
Chapters of just cock.
Nisekoi isn't going to go anywhere because that is a shonen that is going to be out for at least 100 chapters till something happens.
Yeah, and I read like 10 chapters of it, and I'm like, wow, this just isn't going to go anywhere.
By the way, it's going to be
like,
an
that's
anime.
the point. I know. And I dropped it when I realized they're never going to resolve it, so there's no point in continuing. What else? How about...
Our staples.
Uchitin.
No, we can't start with
How about
Uchitin.
Uchitin? Okay, fine, we won't start with Uchitin.
We have to start with our favorite,
Watashi?
Inu.
Oh god, no. Not
Inu.
Well, you guys both watched the ending then, didn't you?
I didn't watch the last episode.
Okay, neither
I
I.
watched the last episode.
Okay, well then here I'll say this. Nate, you were like, oh, they introduced a new character. They didn't really introduce a new character. They like hinted at a new character, which means they're probably going to introduce the new character in the last fucking episode.
Sure they do.
How annoying!
The last episode is by far my most hated one.
All right.
The number 11. It wasn't even an episode. It was like, hey, let's walk through and just talk to all the characters who've been introduced. And they'll give their little like, hey, look at this is my character arc. Bye. Like that's all. Like here's my character. Like in 2 sentences. Okay, I'm leaving now.
No.
That's what the
part
episode 11
The
was.
part that scared me of that episode was when they pulled out the tower and they're like, we are going to have a writing contest. I was like, no! Not another one of these! Fuck! I was so happy when it just ended.
I'm convinced that, like, the people who wrote this like don't understand like what reading is or writing. Like they don't understand the concept of what these things are.
Are you saying you can't learn a fictional kung fu style from reading?
No, I'm exactly saying you can't. That's literally exactly what I'm saying. Like, they don't understand, like, a book. It's like, we're going to have a writing contest, not based on the quality of writing, but just based on how fast you can fill up 100 pages. That's not what a writing contest is.
Couldn't they just put the same letter all the way down?
Exactly. You could just put one letter all the way down. Like, and no one ever read it. As soon as the person finished 100 pages, it was like, done. Yeah.
So next week is definitely going to be our post-mortem of Inu.
It'll be Inu is dead, which is going to be.
I just want to. I want to warn you guys now. So much dairy.
What?
Oh God. He
So
said so
much
much
dairy.
dairy.
Oh. Have fun, Truman.
She's gonna go super fucking dairy. God, I hate her character so much. Like, I'm not even a fan of sadistic heroines to begin with, and then hers just made it so much worse. She made it so bad.
It's amazing. for all the wrong reasons. Okay, let's move on to Uchita before we lose all motivation.
Well, Uchiten got really intense. It's like intense. It's hardcore.
I did not expect the Nisa Elmon election to go like in this direction.
Yeah, I mean they really just turned it into.
I rhymed.
Like, oh shit!
I rhymed.
And then you have Benton coming in. It's like, oh shit, what's Benton gonna do? Because she obviously doesn't give a fuck about, the Tanuki, but she kind of likes the one guy. So it's like, oh man, like, is she still gonna, like, I don't know, I have no idea what kind of presence she'll have in the end of it.
It's definitely keeping me on my toes. The eccentric family.
I mean, it's really changed the pace of what it started out as, which is, it's weird. It's like, whoa, pacing completely changed. It started out as this, carefree, hey, we're Tanuki, we just chillax. And then it's like, whoa, this is like hardcore story. So.
Yeah,
That's what
there was one thing that disappointed me about this episode, but made me really excited for the next one.
What was that?
Little bro's gonna fuck shit up.
Little.
Some reason I don't think that's gonna happen.
No, he has to.
Useless. Even if he has to, he's still not going to because he's useless.
He should come in. Oh my god! It's like with the words Nathan just said. It's like I see him just like kicking down the door with like a taser gun and just boom.
What I see is the older brother. He's gonna get the older brother, and the older brother's gonna finally leave the well. That's my call.
Oh yeah, no. If you watch the preview at the end of the episode, you know that happens.
Yeah.
Okay, I usually just skip the previews, so I don't know what's going on. But yeah,
that's one of the reasons I try and skip the previews, but I may have left it on by accident.
So, yeah, that was my call, and I guess that is what happens.
I still want to go to fuck shit up.
And we get more what's her name? Casey, whatever her name is, the sister of the villains.
Yeah.
We get more of her.
And she's great.
Yeah, she's a pretty cool character.
Oh.
Even though she wasn't introduced to episode 8 or 9.
Well, like her visual character wasn't introduced.
Yeah. She didn't say anything. She was kind of just like, oh, here she exists. But she didn't really
Did you watch? I forgot what Watamote was this week. It was so unmemorable to me. No, wait.
Since Watamote.
I remember what it was now. It was the club room.
Oh, where she tries to start a club.
It's one of the more depressing episodes.
It was pretty. It was depressing more than cringy. It wasn't cringy. It was just like how utterly sad. She like a 5-minute thing of her dreaming about having friends, and then it goes like, no, never.
And that's just like, but that's only in my dreams.
Yeah. It's kind of. I mean, to be perfectly honest, I've kind of forgotten a lot of it because it comes out the day after we do this, which makes it hard to talk about.
I've watched it earlier today, so yeah, that helps.
Hello, make that out. Wait, what did you watch?
He watched Watamote.
Oh yeah, I guess
I watched Watamote today. I watched Watamote, Uchiten, and Inu today.
Yeah, usually especially with Watamote, I get so like, oh, it came out, I have to watch it right away. And then by the time we get to just Monday, I'm like, oh, what did I watch? That's what happens. Jay, did you catch the last Attack on Titan?
It's the one that came out this weekend, right?
23.
23?
Yeah.
So that's the one where they figure out who the female Titan is.
And you were right.
Somebody better pick up that phone. 'Cause I fucking called it.
Yeah, you were definitely right. I mean, I definitely didn't think he was gonna be her. Like
I just don't understand how, but
yeah, like how did like no one notice she was gone for like a whole day? But I guess not.
I guess that's next episode to tell us.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
I am glad that I mentioned it on these calls, and it is recorded that I did call it.
Wait, what show?
Okay.
Oh, okay, that's it.
Attack on Titan.
Oh, okay, so I haven't watched it because I'd rather just watch all of it at once.
It's I think honestly I think it's a better idea because the show ends on like the show gets off on just ending on these huge cliffhangers. Like it leaves a massivest cliffhanger for every episode, so you're definitely better off watching it like at once.
All right.
But no, okay. Here's one thing is just to kind of talk about it a little bit. One thing that bugged me is why did she help, like say she was going to help them if she knew it was a trap?
Maybe she didn't know it was a trap until she realized that no one was following them, and
But
then they said the underground.
She put on the ring beforehand, which was the like signal, like she clearly put they cut to her putting the ring on, which was her like, here's how I turn into a Titan. So
Just in case?
I mean, I definitely thought that was saying she knew. But that's just how I saw it. Yeah.
Maybe. I think it wasn't that she knew, but she was suspicious.
Maybe that was it.
And
But
when
yeah.
you're suspicious, you still do things to protect yourself.
I can see that. It was a pretty intense episode. Like, all of them. Even though not a whole lot happened.
And so... What else is there?
Who's next? Who's picking next?
You're picking next.
Am I picking next? Oh, God. Yes. Finally, we can watch Legend of Galactic Hero.
No, I still have a week of stuff to do.
Oh, shit. Oh, crap. I did not. I forgot it was mine. I do not have something prepared.
You. We
So
will...
Next week will be a surprise, everybody, because I am not prepared.
No. We are going to pause right here, like right now, and you're going to pick, and then you're going to tell these people.
Alright, let me go to my to-watch list.
Wait, I can't watch anything this week.
You can't watch anything this week?
Yeah, I have still to set up all my portfolio shit.
Okay, Jay, then I'll pick something later, because I don't have time to, compare everything. I gotta do work. I have to study for my new test tonight. I do not have time.
Oh my god.
We'll just say,
Well,
we'll say it's a surprise. It's a surprise.
Well then, that's it for the weekly watch this week. Tune in next week when we're watching a surprise!
Exactly.
Fuck you, Truman.
Everyone will be shocked by my choice. That I definitely didn't just forget to pick, because I definitely just forgot to pick something.
For all of us here, I'm Darkly 10,000. Goodbye.
See ya.
Bye, everybody.
Are you kidding me, Truman?